Breaking news: Putin mobilizes men in their 70s, and Russia prepares 100,000 men for a new battle in the Ukraine war. Russia is preparing another 100,000 men for a new battle in Ukraine, so it has raised the maximum age for its soldiers by up to 10 years. Kyiv's top brass believe that Vladimir Putin is mustering a fresh army to launch an assault on the northern frontline region around Kupiansk. Recently passed legislation allows for the recall of high-ranking reservists up to the age of 70, up from the previous age of 65. Men who have served their mandatory military obligation and are now eligible to enlist may do so up until the age of 55. When Putin unexpectedly ordered mobilization in September, hundreds of thousands of men left the country. Recent reports have shown that at least 47,000 Russian soldiers have been killed since the beginning of the war in Ukraine, at a time when birth rates are at their lowest in 23 years. During the 10-year conflict between Russia and Afghanistan, 6,000 Russian and Afghani soldiers reportedly died. Ukrainian military spokesman Colonel Serhiy Cherevity claimed that Russia had ordered ex-convict battalions known as Stormzy to get ready for battle and was launching over 500 shells daily into the area surrounding Kupiansk. He warned that the enemy had assembled a formidable force. More than 100,000 men and women, 550 pieces of artillery, 370 rocket salvos. Russian media outlets reported that their troops had made it within a mile of the city of Kupiansk. Since the beginning of the counter-offensive against Russia, Kyiv has toned down its rhetoric, with commanders now referring to slow but steady progress against the invaders. Putin's plans to implement a digital conscription system to crack down on draft dodgers were made public in April. Many Russian men have successfully dodged the draft by avoiding the in-person delivery of their enlistment orders and then leaving the country. Putin held a minute of silence for the victims of the brief clash between Wagner mercenaries and Russian security forces last month and used the occasion to deliver a rallying cry to Russia's military and security services. The Russian leader told a crowd of 2,500 members of the country's security forces, National Guard, and military units that the people and the armed forces had united to fight back against rebel mercenaries. Outgoing 250,000 casualties in Russia, according to UK Defence Secretary Ben Wallace's estimate yesterday. The casualty rates are horrifying, he said at the Future of Britain conference hosted by the Tony Blair Institute. It's safe to estimate that between 230,000 and 250,000 Russians have been killed or injured. Mr. Wallace said, that is the mindset of Putin, in reference to the 15,000 Russian troops who died in Afghanistan between 1979 and 1989. Yesterday, he made these remarks after Ukraine claimed its forces had shot down Russian drones and cruise missiles aimed at the Black Sea port of Odessa in retaliation for an attack that damaged the bridge to the Crimean Peninsula, which Moscow admitted it was responsible for. Ukraine's Southern Command has claimed that Russia launched 25 exploding drones into the sky in an effort to wear down the country's air defenses before firing 6-caliber cruise missiles at Odessa. Air defenses in the Odessa area and elsewhere in the south were able to intercept and destroy all 6 missiles and the drones, the report said. Meanwhile, Putin's health minister told Russian women yesterday that having children was more important than getting an education or advancing in their careers, which could be a sign that Russia needs to increase its birth rate.